Welcome back to the Rice Dynasty here on College Football 26. It is week 7 and the beginning of the second half of season 1, and the Owls sit at 5-1 atop the Sun Belt Conference. However, they are coming off their first defeat of the season against the Troy Trojans from last week. There is no time for us to rest though and think about this loss as we have another conference match ready to get underway. Luckily though, it's against the 1-4 South Alabama Jaguars, who have had a very rough start to the season so far. They started out their year by losing week 1 to Jacksonville State, and they've played two SEC teams in the 12th ranked Auburn Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Both games they lost by multiple possessions. Their only win on the year has come against an FCS squad, and they are coming to our house after losing to Louisiana Tech last week. Now, taking a look at this South Alabama squad, there is some talent, but I don't think this compares to anything like Southern Miss, who we played earlier in the year with a lot of skill position talent. However, we do have, for the very first time in this series, our own scouting report. We have compiled some stats and some key players, both they're really good players and they're players that we're going to look to take advantage of, and I've compiled a game plan that I'm going to try and adhere to throughout this match so we can try and get a little bit more scheme talk as we go. So we're going to start off discussing the offense and their key stats. This offense is actually pretty decent. It's pretty average across the board in both the Sun Belt and across the country. One thing that does stand out is that they don't score a lot of points. They're only averaging 23.2 per game. However, they get a lot of yards per play at 6.1. They throw the ball quite well, more than they rush it, which is surprising considering who their best player is. And they get a lot of first downs. And when you consider that they get a lot of yards per play and they get a decent amount of first downs and they don't run the ball that well, it's actually quite surprising. Couple that with a very impressive 52% third down conversion rate, this is an offense that can move the ball. It just seems like they seem to sputter out at the worst times and don't come away with a lot of touchdowns. As far as these key players on offense, it all really starts with running back Kentrell Bullock. He is the best player on this team by a mile and the highest rated running back in the Sun Belt. This is not going to be a week where we are going to try and rip the ball out and hit him hard and try and make a statement. We just have to get him on the ground. Another key player is wide receiver Devin Voisin. He is really their best receiving threat and the only guy that really scares me that isn't Kentrell Bullock on this offense. So he's a guy who's going to be receiving a lot of attention, and we're going to try and funnel the ball to all of the other receivers on the offense. And then left tackle Jordan Davis. He is definitely the best offensive lineman on this team. A very, very solid pass protector coming in at 81 overall. And the offensive line in general has only allowed 2 sacks the entire year. So going against our really good pass rush, it's strength versus strength. We're going to have to be creative and see who can win their one-on-ones. As far as the players to take advantage of on the offense, these are our fish, the guys that we're going to be trying to scheme around to get some wins. I put all of the receivers that are not Devin Voisin. I really believe if we can shut Voisin down, we can shut this offense down through the air. We're going to have to make tight end Nate Kitchens and wide receivers Micah Woods and Anthony Eager beat us if they're going to want to move the ball. And then I do list guard Kenton Jarrito as a weakness. He does come in at a very solid 75 overall, but he's a pass protector, and he's got very weak pass block power. So my idea is that he's going to see a lot of Blake Bonish. He's our best pass rusher from the interior, and he rushes with a lot of power, and I hope that that can be a bit of a mismatch. So moving on to our defensive game plan for this week, our goal is to force the ball away from Devin Voisin. We're going to try and stop the ground game with Kentrell Bullock, and we're going to force the ball to go anywhere other than Devin Voisin. And if South Alabama can beat us doing that, then fair play. We're going to try and line up Bonish over Jarrito as much as possible and see if we can get some easy wins with some power rushing. And then we do have to work on containing the QB run game. Bishop Davenport, South Alabama's quarterback, does have some mobility. So when we have Bullock, who can run the ball really well, and then Davenport, who's also a decent runner. That manipulates the numbers on the defensive line. So we're going to have to play a little bit more single high than I would like to make sure that we have even numbers to defend all the gaps they can create. Moving on to the defense, and this is a much different conversation than the offense. This is one of the worst defenses, not just in the Sun Belt, but in the country, allowing over 30 points per game and over 400 yards per game. It's a good pass defense, coming in 38th in the country, but that's because they allow the third worst amount of rushing yards per game at 184. They don't get sacks, they don't get takeaways. This is a really bad defense. It doesn't mean that they don't have some good players, though. They have two good linebackers in Blaine Myrick and Darius McKenzie, and they have a really nice safety on the back end in Wesley Miller. But they're small up front. Tyler Carter at defensive end is a smaller, speedier defensive end rushing from the edge, and then they also take defensive end Lionel Stanton and kick him inside in their nickel packages. So when they come out with these lighter weight fronts, we're going to attack them with gap runs and pulling linemen. We're going to really try and test their strength up the middle. They do have a slower secondary, and I highlight cornerback Javon Henderson, who only has 85 speed, as their biggest weakness on the back end. We're going to be trying to take some shots deep. Now, the emphasis is on try, because Chase Jenkins hasn't been great at hitting those deep shots, but we have to keep them honest, and we want to try and keep them in a too high shell to open up our run game a little bit more. And then, if there is a weakness of these two good linebackers, they are bigger and a little bit slower and stiffer, so we want to get them running sideline to sideline. So using things like RPOs behind them, play action to get the quarterback booting away from the run action, and then all of our jet motion stuff that we try and do to get them running, get the misdirection going, see if we can get them to make a mistake. Speaking of our offense and quarterback Chase Jenkins, there has been some discussion about if he is the best signal caller for this offense. A lot has been made of his consistent misses both down the field and outside the numbers, and I have been questioning if freshman quarterback Patrick Creighton might be a better fit for when we do want to try and throw the ball. For right now, though, Jenkins is the starter. We are 5-1. He's been leading this team. He's a big rushing threat. But Creighton is on his heels, and a couple of bad games from Jenkins could spell for a change at the quarterback position. His job is safe for now, though, as he will lead the 5-1 Owls into Mobile, Alabama to take on the 1-win South Alabama Jaguars. Rice will start with the football to begin this game. They bring Artis Cole in motion, hand it off to Max Balthazar, and right there to make the tackle, there he is, Blaine Myrick, bringing down Balthazar for no gain. On 2nd and 10, Jenkins gonna go play fake. He stands in tall, steps up, and then is sacked. Taken down by Lionel Stanton, who we mentioned in the scouting report. He's that defensive end they like to kick inside. It brings up 3rd down and 12. Jenkins throws over the middle. It is incomplete. Looking for Braden Walker, and we had this. We're going to get a cover 3 rotation here. Take a look at the strong safety. You're going to see him move back to the middle of the field. As soon as I see that, I know the middle of the field's going to be open on this dig, but Jenkins just sails it. Oh, does the opposite of sailing. He puts it in the dirt. And South Alabama will get the ball, and they will start with Kentrell Bullock getting tackled for a loss by Ty Morris. There's a loss of 3 on 1st down, and you're going to see Bishop Davenport dropping back, throwing against pressure. It is caught by Micah Woods. He is a little bit short of the 1st down marker, however. And on 3rd and inches, they're just going to bring out the big heavy package, and Davenport is going to sneak ahead for the 1st down. Next set of downs here, Davenport out of empty, only sends 3 into the pattern, getting some help in pass pro, and the pass is caught by a spinning Anthony Eager. This was automatically reviewed by the booth. It was a close play along the sideline, but it was a pretty clear catch. First down stands. 3rd and 10 for South Alabama. Davenport throwing outside to the numbers. It is incomplete. Looking for Eager. So South Alabama will have to set a field goal. It is the freshman Davis Little. That kick is going right, and it is no good. So a decent first drive for South Alabama comes up empty. And Rice here on their next drive. This isn't looking too good. 3rd and 10. Micah Barnett motioning around. Jenkins back to throw. He stands in tall and throws complete to Braden Walker over the middle of the field. He will get across midfield. A gain of 23 on the reception. Nice job handling the blitz there by Jenkins. That was a good job. I'm surprised he made the throw, frankly. After hurrying up, the Rice offense will bring Barnett in motion. They hand it off to Jackson. Barnett just seemed to get turned around on his lead, and he basically tackles Quentin Jackson for a loss of 3. 2nd down now. Jenkins, he's going to be sacked once again. That is going to be taken down. That is another sack for the South Alabama defense. And now 3rd and 23. Jenkins is going to dump it off to Balthazar on the screen. He has his blockers in front, cuts inside, and fights his way ahead. It's a gain of 20. Myrick forces him out of bounds, but now Rice is going to go for it. In that gray area, they hand it off to Jackson. He bounces outside and is able to fight his way ahead for the first down. Getting a little bit aggressive here, and it pays off. Jenkins play action on 1st down, and it's at the feet of Artis Cole. Well, we've seen that a couple of times. On 2nd down, Balthazar motions behind Byers. He gets the handoff, and lots of running room for Tyvon Byers. Inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. A rush of 19, and Rice is going to go hurry up here once again. Keep the same personnel, same formation on the field. They're going to hand it off to Byers once again. He's got a lane. He's got himself nearly 1st and goal. 2 carries for 28 yards on this drive for Tyvon Byers. Quentin Jackson checks in for 2nd and 1. He flips it. This is Drayden Dickman, who is taken down by Myrick. Was not fooled by the reverse. Rice would settle for a Chase Allen field goal. With less than 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter, Davenport throws over the middle. That is caught by Devin Voisin. His first catch of the day gets South Alabama a new set of downs. 1st and 10. It'll be a handoff here to Bullock, who bounces off the first contact and is able to pick up 4 before being taken down by Davion Hook. He's a slippery runner, as you see here. 2nd and 4, jumping over Ty Morris on the ground, breaking a tackle from Jack Kane into Rice territory, down to the 33 as the 1st quarter comes to a close. South Alabama averaging nearly 6 yards per play as we head to the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 3 for the Jaguars. It'll be a quick throw out to Bullock, but he is taken down by Andrew Awe. And so Davis Little, the freshman, going to come back on to try and make his first kick of the day. This one off the right upright. It was a bit closer than the last one that went wide, but still no cigar. And no cigar here for Rice trying to run. That ball's on the ground. It's picked up by the center, David Stickle. Myrick knocked the ball out. He met Balthazar in the backfield. On 2nd and 13, it's a give to Artis Cole. He gets a good block from Balthazar and is able to get 8, bringing up a 3rd down and 5. This is manageable. A cover 2 look from South Alabama. Jenkins holds the ball and is taken down by Tyler Carter. And you see here, that needs to be dumped off to Artis Cole immediately. Wide open over the middle of the field against the cover 2. It's a misread by Jenkins. And South Alabama gets the ball back. How about Bullock just making defenders miss? He is so shifty, just on another level compared to our defense. Here they're going to try a draw to Bullock, but he's not fooling El Royale Morris III, who takes down Bullock for a loss of 3. 3rd down and 4, going empty again to the Jaguars. Always setting 3 in the pattern once again. This time it's dumped off to Bullock, and he makes a fantastic move, breaking tackles, and able to get himself the 1st down. There was an injury on the play. That was Kenton Garrido, who had to come off the field, so We're looking to see if we can maybe get a good matchup here with our D-line against their backup guard. To throw is Davenport. That pass is caught. Devin Voisin, he was blanketed by Max Ahoya, but it didn't matter. A fantastic catch by one of the best receivers in this conference, and South Alabama has got themselves on the board. Fourth down and 10 here. This is Aleksi Pulkkinen, the Finnish punter, kicking away to Aaron Turner after South Alabama's next drive. It's not a good punt. Turner fair catches it at the 45. And on 2nd and 6, Jenkins going to pitch it to Turner. He's going to make a fantastic move. And now into the open field. Aaron Turner will score. How about a little spark plug from the punt returner getting in on offense? A little QB slot option action. And Aaron Turner, he is shifty. Literally, he has the ability. He is shifty, and he's got a fantastic jump cut that he uses on safety Wesley Miller, one of South Alabama's best defensive backs, and he is just gone. All of a sudden now, Rice back in front. A nice tackle here from Clay Wyatt on Kentrell Bullock will limit Bullock to only a gain of 1. 3rd down and 10 now for Davenport and the Jaguar offense. To throw is Davenport. He completes it. That's Bullock. He breaks away from Wyatt this time, makes a move on Porter, and now is down to the 45-yard line. I don't know if we've been able to tackle him on first contact more than twice this game. A quick little dump off here from Davenport to the tight end, Nate Kitchens. Will set up 2nd down and medium. On play action, Davenport throwing, but the pressure got there from Jordan Campbell in time. Leads to 3rd down and 6. Davenport making an adjustment at the line. He sends Bullock in motion. Pressure coming from Rice. Stepping up is Davenport. He's hit. Throws incomplete. Some safety pressure coming from Jack Kane off the edge. And with Bullock motioning out, it leaves only 5 to protect. And the double mug look forces the offensive line to set in to protect that inside rush first, and it gives Kane enough time to get around the edge before anyone can adjust and realize it. It's not a sack, but that is an impactful pressure from Jack Kane to get the ball back to the Owls offense. Inside of 2 minutes now, but a good punt put Rice deep in their own territory. This run from Max Balthazar will help, getting them out to the 22-yard line, and now they can really start this 2-minute drill. Artis Cole comes in motion. Jenkins is going to roll right. He throws out to the sideline. It's caught by Braden Walker, who turns upfield and gets to the 46-yard line. So a really, really good play here. They're able to get themselves out of trouble. And now they're going to go empty with just over a minute left in the first half. Jenkins goes play action on the jet motion. He's rolling right, and he's going to get away past midfield to the 40 and out of bounds. That's a good job by Jenkins extending the play. He didn't have anything on the shot attempt, so he just takes it and runs. 3rd down and 2. It's a handoff to Jackson. Little GT counter up the middle gets them to the 26-yard line. Chains keep moving with 45 seconds to go. Jenkins going to step up. He's running. He's got the 1st down, and he slides down at the 15-yard line. Clock still on their side, but now out of timeouts. 3rd down and 5. There's 24 seconds left in the half. Jenkins, he goes play action with 2 backs in the backfield. No one's open. He dumps it to Balthazar, who cannot get out of bounds. There's 17 seconds left. Can they get the field goal team out there? They cannot. So a botched end of half scenario where the Rice Owls really should have been able to get the field goal team out there leads to no points at the end of the first half. The Owls did get the running game going a little bit. Most of that was thanks to Aaron Turner's long touchdown run. They do lead. You would have loved to get some points at the end of the half there, especially when you're kicking the ball off to start the second half. It is a bit of a missed opportunity and some bad management of the clock there by Chase Jenkins. Second down now on Alabama's first drive of the second half. Davenport under pressure throws. It's a great ball to Nate Kitchens on the nod route, who is right in front of Davion Hook. Hook was not able to collapse the throw enough. Davenport pulls on second down. He's got a first down and more into Rice territory before being taken down by Davion Hook. Third down and 4 now. Rice right in the face of these South Alabama receivers. They're going to hand it off. This is Iverson Celestine, the backup running back, who gets the first down. A short gain of 4. Now Bullock's back in. They play fake it to him and now throw it. This is caught by the second string tight end for South Alabama. Breaks a tackle. Another tackle. How about 3? As he gets pushed out of bounds in the red zone. First and 10. They go screen outside to Eager. He's taken down by Marcus Williams for a short gain of 3. And on third down, going RPO out to Kitchens. He's able to break 1 tackle, but not the second. So it brings up 4th and 3, but after missing 2 field goals already today, South Alabama keeps the offense on the field. They hand the ball off to Bullock. He cuts it back inside, and he's able to get just enough down to the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Jaguars. Here comes Voisin in motion. They flip it to him. Voisin gets a block from Bullock, and he is into the end zone. Devin Voisin with that will be his second receiving touchdown of the day, but he has scored both times for South Alabama. Rice now back on offense. How do you respond after that good first drive to start the second half? Well, Jenkins is going to pull it, gets a good block from Barnett. He gets another great block from Landon Ransom. Goals, and he is into the clear, being chased by Alabama defenders, and it will not matter. He will go the distance on the first play of the drive. He hits the gritty in the end zone, and Rice is right back on top. The first thing I noticed when I called this play is 3 second-level defenders over the nub tight end on the backside, and I knew since we're bringing him in motion across the formation to be a lead blocker, we're going to have numbers on the front side. Blaine Myrick has A-gap responsibility, so he charges way inside, takes himself completely out of the play, and that leaves Micah Barnett responsible for Wesley Miller, and then Chase Jenkins is gone. A long touchdown run puts Rice right back on top. Davenport to throw on 3rd and 2. That pass is complete, hauled in by Anthony Eager. And South Alabama is moving once again. Out of the empty set. They've been throwing from here a lot. Taking a shot downfield, and that pass is knocked away by Jack Kane. A good play in quarters coverage by the junior safety. Another throw here. This is complete to Nate Kitchens, who's able to break away from Kane and pick up a first down. Bullock going in motion on 1st and 10. Davenport throwing again. He adjusts in the pocket, throws complete to Micah Woods, who loses the ball, and that is picked up by Davion Hook. I think that he was down, however. A booth review should easily be able to overturn this. We'll let the Rice defense have their moment, though. Give them some credit there. And they're going to say that give Play Wyatt the credit. He forced the fumble on Micah Woods. The defense rallied. And Rice's offense is coming on the field. There's no review. Still no review. They're really going to say that was a fumble. Jenkins, he's taking his time. They're changing the play. They're giving the booth every chance. And there's no review. The pitch play to Balthazar loses 3. But where's the review on the fumble? Jenkins sails a throw to Will Swartz. What is going on? This is a bizarre, just past minute and a half here. Jenkins on 3rd and 14. Fakes it to Cole. Taking a shot downfield. Looking for Walker. He missed it. But that was probably the closest deep shot that we've been able to get so far. On 1st down on the next drive, that is a sack for Andrew Awe. South Alabama's been doing this where they take the inside receivers out of empty and chip, but the chip just did not come fast enough to bump Jordan Davis back inside to take Andrew Awe, who just ran right through and took down Davenport for the sack. It brings up 3rd down and 15.
Rice is loading the box here. They got 7 guys against 5 blockers. And under pressure against Davenport, he breaks away from DJ Arkansas and is able to try and chuck the ball downfield to no avail. So they're going to bring the Finn, Pulkkinen, back on to kick it to Turner, who is going to field it from the 35-yard line, going left, now cutting back right, and there's a hole, gets a great block from DJ Arkansas, and Aaron Turner turns on the Jets, and he takes the punt back for a touchdown. I haven't called Aaron Turner's name once so far this season. He's got 2 long touchdowns, big impact plays to spark the scoring for the Rice offense. He's responsible for 14 points. Rice on top by 10, and now Davenport is sacked, taken down by Jordan Campbell. He didn't get a sack earlier in the first half. He gets one now, and Rice will get the ball back. At the start of the fourth quarter, Balthazar is the running back, going buck sweep to the outside. Good blocking from this offensive line. Balthazar cuts upfield, and he is down to the 27 before Wesley Miller finally tackles him. It's a good run from Max Balthazar and some great blocking by the pulling guards. On 1st and 10, right afterwards, Balthazar stays in the game. Barnett in motion, Jenkins play action, throwing down the sideline, and that is not even close for Artis Cole. He was open, but it wasn't even close. So it wasn't a post route, but he still missed it. 3rd down and 1. They try to run it ahead with Tyvon Byers out of the heavy set. That doesn't work, but a field goal doesn't really do us anything. Going up by 13 doesn't really help us in this situation. It's still 2 possessions, so the offense stays on the field. They give it to Tyvon Byers again. This time he's able to fight his way ahead and pick up a 1st down. Rice would still settle for a field goal from Chase Allen. It will be a 13-point game. We got to the 4th down and a bit longer. I wasn't going to risk going for it then. So with 9 minutes left, down by 13, this is a throw out to Bullock and a fantastic tackle in space on the slippery Kentrell Bullock made by Davion Hook. 3rd down and 9 for Davenport. He steps up from the pressure. Bonish gets away from him and is not going to be able to get away from Max Ahoya, who abandoned his coverage assignment to take down Bishop Davenport. A punt here to Aaron Turner from Pulkkinen. It's not a good punt once again. Will be fielded at the 45-yard line. So Rice is very quickly going to just punt the ball back from good field position. Davenport taking a shot downfield looking for Eager. This pass is intercepted from Amari Porter. Porter breaks away from Eager. He gets great blocking from his offensive players now and is able to be pushed out of bounds by Davenport inside the 20-yard line. Man, he just took that away. It's like he was playing offense. It's as if Eager was a defensive back and Porter just stole the ball away. That turnover definitely counts. We don't need a booth review or a non-booth review or whatever to tell us that was a pick from Amari Porter, his first of the season. South Alabama would get the ball back after a very long drive from Rice. With under 2 minutes left, Davenport trying to run around on 4th down and goal. He is taken down, and that would be it. If Rice can get a 1st down here. They bring Artis Cole in motion. They hand it off to Max Balthazar. He gets some blocking and is now down the sideline. This will certainly do it, but is he going to score? No, he will not. South Alabama will still call their timeouts, but this game is over. A 30-14 victory for the Owls makes them bowl eligible. Officially, we could go bowling with a quarterback with less than 100 passing yards and a 40.9% completion percentage.
As we wrap up this week, I want to review our game plan from our scouting report that we saw at the beginning of the episode and just kind of go over how I think we did. First of all, our game plan on offense really was to try and run the ball. I was really only scared of the 2 linebackers that South Alabama had, and I think we did a pretty good job. It started very, very slowly. Myrick and McKenzie were flashing downhill to start the game, and we really struggled to get anything going, but eventually they softened up a little bit, and we were finally able to win to the outside, which led to some very explosive runs on the option touchdown from Aaron Turner. Balthazar had a very nice long run at the end of the game. But overall, I think we ran the ball okay. We tried to take some deep shots on offense. Again, Chase Jenkins just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and we struggled to do anything there, but I would like to think that we kept them honest by taking those chances. But then moving over to the defensive side, I think it was a mixed bag. Devin Voisin definitely got his against us, and we also had a hard time stopping Kentrell Bullock in the ground game. He ended up getting stopped, but that was more because South Alabama fell into an unfavorable game script where they kind of had to stop running the ball. We did get a good pass rush, although much of it didn't really come from Blake Bonish. He did have a couple nice plays where he was the pick man on the stunts, and he was able to free up his teammates for a free rush, but we didn't get a lot with trying to match him up against their weaker pass protecting guard, so that was kind of a wash. But one thing I do want to say is that South Alabama really got screwed by two missed field goals, and then that fumble that absolutely was not a fumble. I'm going to go ahead and change how I play. I've had a couple of those fumbles happen to me where they're clearly not fumbles, and I go ahead and challenge and I get the ball back. The CPU doesn't do that. The CPU just says, okay, I guess we fumbled, and there's no review. So if that happens to me again in the future, I'm just going to let it happen. As annoying as it might be, I don't want to give myself an advantage that the CPU doesn't have. As we move forward into week 8, we get some positive recruiting news for the second week in a row. We get defensive tackle from Missouri City, Texas, Garrison Sullivan to commit, our second commit of the year. Now, Sullivan, he is a 3-star bust, but I do like his skill set. He's got good size for a high school freshman, and he does have a nice skill set for a 3-tech pass rusher. We still need a nose tackle. Blake Bonish graduates this year, and we don't have anyone to take up those two gaps that we really want our defensive tackles to if we're going to come out in light boxes in our quarter shells. But we're going to move right on to week 8 against Jacksonville State. You're getting a doubleheader this week again to make up for the week between Dynasty episodes. Life was certainly lifing this week and didn't have time to record, so you're getting 2 games this week. We're taking on Jacksonville State. They are 3-4 at this point in the season, and obviously we are 6-1, bowl eligible for the first time in this dynasty. Didn't think it would happen this fast, but here we are. And taking a look at this Jacksonville State team, we're just going to jump right into the FBI report and get our scouting report going for the week. Jacksonville State's offense, I think it comes out very similarly to South Alabama's. It's a decent offense. It might be slightly worse than South Alabama's in some ways, but in other ways, it's much better. This is a ground control, run the ball type of offense. They have 137 rushing yards per game, which is top half in the country. They get a lot of first downs, 39th ranked in the country at 19.4 per game. But they still don't score a lot of points, only 23.7, which is almost exactly the same as what South Alabama did against us. They don't turn the ball over that much, and they're not that great on third down, only 43%. When you compare that to South Alabama's 53%, and they're a much more run-oriented team here in Jacksonville State, it's starting to see why the offense might be struggling a little bit. However, there are some skill players here that contribute to this being a really dangerous run game. Some of their dudes here. We got 2 running backs. Halfback Cam Cook, number 4, and then number 0, Andrew Paul. These 2 guys split carries. Cook coming in with over 400 rushing yards. Paul has over 300. It's a really dynamic duo in the backfield. And when you combine that with quarterback number 20, Gavin Wimsatt, you know you're in for a big day on the ground when the quarterback is wearing a number in the 20s. He has to be a runner. They also have a nice wide receiver in Michael Petway. He's one of their better targets. But then we get to the fish. And this group of offensive linemen is really, really bad. I know we're in the Sun Belt, but starting a 65 overall at tackle, Nate Smith, that is a recipe for disaster. So as soon as I saw that, I went to look at the rest of the offensive linemen. Their average overall is 70.2, and they've allowed 15 sacks in 7 games. So our pass rush, that's been pretty darn good this year, is going to have their opportunities. Other guys who are some fishes that we're going to look to force to make some plays, tight end Pearson Baldwin and wide receiver Caleb Coombs. These are 2 guys that we can absolutely force the ball to. Michael Petway is a deep threat with a couple of really nice abilities, so I don't want him to get the ball in space. I'd rather force the ball inside to Coombs and Baldwin and press them especially. They don't have great release. So now we go to our defensive game plan for this week, where our goal is going to be to jam Baldwin and Petway at the line, not let Petway get off the ball. They do have a big slot, much bigger, 6'2", 220. So I'm going to go ahead and move Omari Porter to the apex spot for this week. I'm going to let him, he's a bigger, slower, more physical corner, normally starts on the outside for us. Instead, he's going to go in the slot and be that apex defender to handle the big slot. I think we have to contain the ground game again with single high, just like we tried to do last week against South Alabama. The QB run game is a much bigger threat. Wimsatt has run the ball more this season than South Alabama's quarterback did previously. So we got to make sure that we're ready to stop the QB run game and the zone read. And then we want to put pressure on Nate Smith at left tackle, as well as this entire offensive line. We're going to be running a lot of stunts, a lot of twists, a lot of exotic blitz looks, trying to get a mental mistake that we can take advantage of. Moving to the defense, this is pretty much the same exact song as South Alabama. This defense is not good. It might be a bit better than South Alabama, but they allow over 30 points per game, a lot of yards. They're more towards average in the country, slightly below average, both against the pass and the rush, but they do not get pressure. Only less than 1 sack per game is not good enough. They only have 1 dude on their entire defense, 1 guy over an 80 overall in safety Trevor Woods. He cannot do all this alone, especially with 3 really bad linebackers. These are their best linebackers: Jacob Cruz, Morvin Joseph, who plays a little bit of edge also, and then Walker Osteen. If this is your best, we're going to do everything we can to just attack the middle of the field. They're bigger linebackers also, so we're going to try and stretch them laterally with runs to the outside. We're going to throw RPOs behind their head, just like we tried to do against South Alabama. And we're just going to try and get them to run and just stress the fact that they're not great athletes. They don't do a great job of putting size on the field in their nickel packages, kind of like South Alabama did. They're going to try and put light sets on the field, so we're going to be trying to run the ball right again up the middle, trying to attack those linebackers and those weak fronts. But they do have some nice edge rushers, and we don't want to let them pin their ears back and get after us. So overall in offense, it's going to be a heavy dosage of the ground game. Back at home after a quick 2-week Alabama road trip, it's the 6-1 Owls and the 3-4 Gamecocks here from Rice Stadium in Houston. Rice begins the day on offense. They come out with 2 tight ends against this stacked defensive look from Jacksonville State. Balthazar is the back. They bring Will Swartz in motion. They sweep it to Balthazar, and right there to make the tackle behind the line for a loss of 5 is the 1 dude on that Jacksonville State defense, safety Trevor Woods. On 2nd and 15, Micah Barnett motions out. He gets the throw from Jenkins in the flat. He fights his way ahead, picks up 10, leading to a 3rd down and manageable. Trips into the boundary. That's Aaron Turner in the slot, now coming in motion. They run option with Jenkins, who pulls the ball, going left side, going to get around the corner and pick up the 1st down, speeding away from linebacker Morvin Joseph. Offense going fast now. Jenkins going to roll right, throw right, caught by Quentin Jackson at the 50, and he will make a move inside of territory of Jacksonville State and get out of bounds. A nice little sprint out, and Jackson's able to make a lot happen.
Balthazar back in the game. They're going buck sweep. Another great block here. Moves from Balthazar inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. Going trips into the boundary once again here. This is 3rd down and 11. Quentin Jackson in the backfield. A single high look from Jacksonville State. Jenkins to throw. Under pressure. It settles right over the middle of the field to Michael Barnett, who's able to fall down just past the sticks. That's a great play handling the pressure by Jenkins. 3rd down and 3. This is a handoff to Balthazar. He breaks one tackle and then walks into the end zone. A very long and effective drive for the Rice offense as they go up 7-0. Jacksonville State's first drive of the game begins with a RPO thrown from quarterback Gavin Wimsatt, and that is Michael Petway making the reception. A big gain of 15 on their first snap of the day. 2nd down and 8 here. They bring Pearson Baldwin, the tight end, in motion. Fake it to Cam Cook, and it's going to be a sack. Forced out by Amari Porter, picked up by Demon Green, and that will be a scoop and score. There is a penalty on the field. Rice came with a nickel blitz with Amari Porter. Wimsatt didn't even see it. He goes through the play fake and gives Porter enough time to come through unblocked. And Green, who gets off the block of right tackle Nate Smith, is in perfect position to scoop that ball up and take it back for 6. 14-0 very quickly for the Owls. Now back on defense. This pass is complete once again to Petway from Wimsatt. 2nd down and 14. Jacksonville State not really able to run the ball so far to begin this drive. And Wimsatt standing around, throwing. Pass is caught by Cook. He breaks tackle of Awe. He is going to be down close to midfield at the 48-yard line. They're going fast now, keeping Cook in the backfield. Wimsatt to throw again. Over the middle. Pass is caught by the tight end, Pearson Baldwin, and that is a 1st down. Team's been kind of picking on Andrew Awe in coverage. He's not the strongest when it comes to his pass defense. He's more here for his run game. And he misses the tackle here. Davion Hook tries to bring down Cam Cook. He cannot. And instead it will be Damone Green bringing him down for a gain of 6. 3rd down and 4 here. Wimsatt almost intercepted by Amari Porter. How about the work here done by this defense? A little stunt action here by the defensive front. And this throw is going to be picked off almost by Amari Porter. Field goal attempt on here now for the freshman kicker. Garrison Ripa is off the right upright. Something that we've been seeing a lot of so far in this episode. Another missed kick. Jenkins rolling right after taking the ball back. Overpass is complete to Artis Cole out on the sideline. Cole's going to get a little bit more work on the outside. Aaron Turner is getting some more appearances in the slot now in that kind of gadget receiver role. So Cole's going outside. Jenkins going to pull the ball here on 1st down, speeding outside, inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 27. 3 carries for 32 yards for Chase Jenkins. On 1st and 10, Turner comes in motion. Jenkins pops it over the middle. That's caught by Micah Barnett. Woods brings him down, but it is a nice throwing catch on the RPO. And check this out here. This is Aaron Turner at Wildcat quarterback. He takes the handoff, going left, gets a fantastic kick-out block from John Long, and he is into the end zone for his 3rd score of the episode. And some nice dance moves in the end zone for Aaron Turner, who is quickly becoming the star of this offense. Just the little spark plug that we use whenever we want to get a big play. $21-0 before the end of the first quarter here. Jacksonville State needs to get something going on their offensive possessions. Wimsatt to throw. Over the middle, pass is caught by Brock Rechsteiner, and that will be a gain of 4, bringing up 3rd down and 6. Wimsatt throwing again. He's under pressure, has time, takes a shot downfield, but he is hit by El Royale Morris before he could get the throw off cleanly. There was holding on the play. That penalty would be declined. Rice takes over. It's 3rd down and 1 on their next possession. They go power here with Tyvon Byers up the middle, and he is going to get a 1st down to the 26. Going 4 strong here. Barnett in motion. They hand the ball off to Quentin Jackson. He's bouncing off his blocks and is able to pick up 8 down to the 7-yard line. 2nd down and 2, 4 wide receivers to the right side. Balthazar gets the pitch, going right, gets a block from Barnett, trying to cut his way inside, and is down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal, and they bring the heavy personnel back on the field with Byers in the backfield. Jenkins will hand it off to Byers. He bounces it out, and he is in for another Rice touchdown. And just like that, it is 28-0, not even halfway through the 2nd quarter. Second down and 7 now for Jacksonville State. Coming out in the eye, they hand this off to Cam Cook, and there's nowhere for him to go. There is Andrew Alway making plays where he is best in run defense. Brings up 3rd down and 8. Rice showing pressure. They bring pressure, and Wimsatt is sacked by Damone Green. What a blitz drawn up here by the Owls defense, running some double rat here. If you watch the stunts and twists video, you know what we're talking about, while also bringing Davion Hook off the edge. Fantastic schemed up pressure there for Rice, getting the sack and getting off the field. 3rd down and 12 for the offense. This pass is complete from Jenkins to Landon Ransom goals, who's had a very quiet episode. He didn't quite get the 1st down, however, so it brings up 4th and inches. Rice gets Jacksonville State way out of alignment. They're going to hand this off to Balthazar, going right, getting a good block from Schwartz inside the 35, down to the 30-yard line. And now they're going to go fast. Same alignment on the field. Jacksonville State corrects their defense. Jenkins goes play fake. He's got a man open, and he misses. Will Schwartz on the post. That probably was a touchdown. 2nd and 10, they go play action. Jenkins throws a quick screen to Artis Cole, gets some blocking from his lineman, and is able to get the 1st down to the 18-yard line. Later on the drive now, 1st down and goal from the 4-yard line. Jenkins, he's going to motion Turner into the backfield. Turner gets the handoff. He puts his foot in the ground. What a cut! Touchdown, Aaron Turner! The entire Gamecock defense flowed with Turner so aggressively, there was no contain on the backside. So he just sticks his left foot in the ground, and because he's so shifty, he's able to change his direction so fast and get to the corner, and gets a really good block from Artis Cole on the backside. You don't expect your receiver on the backside of a run to block his butt off like Artis Cole just did, but it springs Aaron Turner for his 4th touchdown in these last 2 games. We get a sack here right before the 2-minute warning from Michael Daly, just whooping the left tackle KD Small in his pass pro. 3rd down and 16. Rice is going to bring some pressure again. Wimsatt in trouble. He gets it away. The ball's tipped up in the air, and it is nearly intercepted by Davion Hook. Run a little bit of double hammer now, bringing Andrew Alway. We ran double rat on the last drive. Now we switch it up and have the defensive tackle loop around, and always schemed up for a free rush. 2nd and 10, some more screens for Rice. Good block from Aaron Turner. This is Artis Cole inside the 5, out at the 3-yard line with 30 seconds left in the 1st half. Jenkins is going to bring Turner in motion. Watch out for him. No, it's Jenkins on the counter, and he is in. Touchdown, Owls. 35-0 at the end of the 1st half. And we're going to start moving a little bit faster here now, as the backups were in for both teams immediately at the start of the 2nd half. I don't even know who these guys are for Jacksonville State. I have a depth chart of their starters here that I can look at. I don't have their backups. We get a sack here from Joseph Mutombo on 2nd down. It brings up 3rd down and 15. Taking a shot downfield, and this ball is caught! My goodness, what a catch by Toby Reeder. It would set up the first field goal attempt for Jacksonville State, trying to get their 1st points of the day, and they do. Garrison Ripa makes this one. Yeah, this game just kind of turned into a mess in the second half. I put Chew Clock on almost immediately as we get another sack. That was Ari Basala and Daly in there. But Chew Clock was on the entire second half, and I was just trying to get out of this game. 35-0 already at the end of the half. It really was no contest. This was my first game since the new update as we get a strip sack and Ari Basala is able to fall on the ball. Michael Daly had himself a second half against these Gamecock backups. We're going to see Patrick Creighton taking some first extended snaps on offense. He's going to pull the ball on the power read. Gets a good block from Dalen Alexander. There goes the freshman quarterback Patrick Creighton for a touchdown. My goodness. Like I said, this was the first game that I played since the new update on Thursday. Made the running game a lot easier, and I could feel it. And I think the Jacksonville State backup quarterback is tired of feeling Michael Daly in the backfield. That's his third sack. Oh my goodness. I can't even finish talking about the last sack before we get another sack. I thought the sliders were way too easy. I did talk to the creator of the slider set. He was very surprised that I had this outcome against an evenly ranked team. A 52-3 blowout. We kind of just sped right through this second half. But I did talk to the creator of the sliders because I said, I'm playing a ranked team next week. I don't want this same result to happen. We play SMU next week. I want this to be a good game. I don't want us to just blow out a team that's going to be ranked very highly. And he said he thinks it was a variance thing. He said that in all of his tests, he did not have a game like this. So I think the perfect storm just happened. And when you consider we scored first on a good opening drive, and then we got a strip sack scoop and score, it could happen, right? You put an offense in a really bad game script immediately. They have to move away from running, which is their thing with their running backs and Wimsatt, who's a better runner than he is a passer. And yeah, you put a team like that into a situation where they gotta start throwing and they're not great pass protectors. It was a favorable situation for us. So I'm willing to give next week against SMU another go and see if we can possibly get ourselves a bit better of a game than what we had here. This is our second blowout of the season, and this one felt a lot less natural than the Marshall blowout did. With Marshall, it felt like, yeah, we were the better team. This game, it felt like we had divine intervention on our side. Just everything was going right for us. Moving on to the next week, you see our championship contender up to a C. What were we at the beginning of the year? A D, an F? We were not good. And to be 7-1 up to a C in championship contender at this point in season 1 is fantastic. We're going to use some of our coaching points here, still building this motivator tree. It's all we can do till we hit level 10. We buy level 3 for offensive linemen, and then the first 2 levels for the linebacker position. Talking some more recruiting, I did put some more players on the board. I went through and kind of trimmed down the guys that I wasn't too interested in and also weren't too interested in us in order to try and add some more recruits that could maybe build the potential of our class a little bit more. I looked at quarterback Tony Sexton. I didn't think he was that much better than the quarterbacks we were already looking at. So I went ahead. We're going to stick with the one we already have. We're looking at running backs. Didn't think we had anything too crazy here. We're sticking with Baraka Yerby. I think he's a solid playmaker, able to move east and west really well, make moves, jukes. I think he'll be really useful if we try to run buck sweep and obviously any pitches on the option game that we're trying to run. So he's going to go ahead and stay on the board. Taking a look here, this is tackle Terrence Osbin. I found him in recruiting, and I liked his game a little bit more than the pass protecting tackle that we had last time that you saw recruiting. I really want to try and build the offensive line. I want to build them with very specific archetypes. I think our guards have to be agile guards. which you're going to see here with Fernando Mendoza. He is a center, but I am going to be moving him to guard if we do get him. I think we need our guards to be able to have that ability to pull and get out in space really fast. Our center, that can just be raw strength. I need them to be able to handle the big 330-pound defensive tackles we're going to go against if we're going to make sure that our run game is able to be effective. Our tackles, I want them to be well-rounded, right? I don't want them to just be pass protectors. I don't certainly want them to be pure strength because I want them to be able to handle the pass rush off the edge. And the well-rounded tackles have the best ability combinations of definitely any of the tackle archetypes. So we're trying to go well-rounded at tackle, agile at guard, and then raw strength at center. I definitely went ahead and added a lot of JUCO players to the recruiting board this week. We have wide receivers, corners, safeties. I still want to develop high school players and get guys who are going to want to be here for 4 years as part of our kind of Win Texas idea that we have. But I wanted to get some more JUCO guys who could play now and be ready and able to contribute immediately, because we do have 21 seniors, so we need to fill out our recruiting class a little bit more. But next episode is the biggest game of the season. It is our second rivalry game of the year. I wanted to get both of our rivals into this first season with Houston and SMU. I knew SMU was ranked to start the year, but they are now up to 10th in the AP poll, and we're sitting at 7-1. A win here could be massive for us. At home in Houston, our house, the Mustangs have to come to us. This is going to be a fantastic game next episode, and I am so excited to watch it play out. I do just want a little bit of feedback here. What did you all think about the little bit longer of an episode here? I've done one doubleheader before, but we had some more scheme talk. What did you think of the scouting reports? I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep on trying to update them, keep them fresh, keep good information on there, but also maybe make it a little bit more clear and concise and a bit easier to digest and understand. I don't want to spend a super long time on the scouting reports, but I definitely want to get as much information in there as possible to bring a bit more personality to these teams that we're playing against. I feel like that something that they're still lacking in these games is the real personality of each team. If there's a team that runs the ball or passes the ball a lot or is weak in one area, you don't really see that if you don't go looking for it. So I'm trying to also give myself an advantage with some scouting, but also give you an advantage and an understanding of what kind of team we're going against. So I would love some feedback on the scouting reports. What do you think? Definitely go ahead and let me know. If you're new here, definitely go ahead and take the opportunity to subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed. Obviously, talk to me in the comment section. I'm very excited to hear what you all have to say. And next week is much lighter for me with work. It will not be like last week. So I'm hoping to get some more rice to you, some more chalk talks to you, and I will see you very soon. Take care.